Happy July 7th, everybody. Welcome to our broadcast. 8th. It's July 8th. This is our, we're going on 7th or 8th broadcast. We're all learning Zoom. We're doing so much better. If you have any chats for our guests, any questions, please put them in the chat feature. And if she doesn't see them, we will relay them to her. When it's door prize time, we want to see what's in your glass. If we will drink it, you will get a ding dong and a door prize. If we won't drink it, you still get a door prize, but you're going to get buzzed. So, you
or not.
We do have a Facebook page if you have want to follow up with our guests. It's So What Facebook page. And also we're recording this now, and we will put this up on YouTube so that you can view it, or your friends can view it again. Our sponsors for today are Fox Chapel Publishing, and that's our publisher. Banyan Boutiques, because I have a collection with Banyan Boutiques. And QuiltWoman.com, who is still donating her door prize. She's not coming today, but she's still donating her door prize. And you will have your choice of a downloadable pattern or a fat quarter bundle, because she was pretty generous last week. So if you won a door prize in a previous one and you still didn't get it, make sure that we get your email so we can get your prize to you. So to start off the festivities day, I have in my glass a bottle of cheap. I paid $4.39 for it. Chardonnay from Barefoot. So I'm giving myself a ding dong just because I deserve it. And I worked my Zoom this morning, and I deserve it.
Barefoot seems appropriate.
Yeah. If you saw my Facebook video, I didn't realize my husband was taking my little fat feet. So they're in there too. If I knew that, I would have wore shoes, but whatever. They're cute. Deb. Oh,
Yes.
What do you think there?
I had to put my glass away because the cat kept trying to knock the ice cubes out of it.
What is that?
Seltzer and orange juice.
Your track record's getting pretty bad.
All right, maybe next week.
Pretty bad. So our guest this week is one half of the Brimfield girls, even though we have the other half here as well. Kim Martucci. She is from Jersey, just like me and Deb. She doesn't have a big accent, though. Now, if you've been to Houston or any of the shows and you've walked around past like Paper Pieces or whatever, the Brimfield block and what they've done has been really spectacular. And there's always people at their booth. They do a really nice demo. And Deb and I are big fans. Deb,
Yeah.
Where'd you go? And everybody knows, it's no secret how much I hate hand stuff.
And stuff.
I don't
She
even
makes me do her
own
binding.
I sent it to Jersey. I did. This is rare. This is rare. I did this all by myself. I even cut away the back. So this is big for me. Right, Deb?
Very big.
What did you do?
Oh, it's not finished, but I didn't get the applique it down yet. Because to be honest, this week is the first time I did it. But I have to tell you, I put it off because
that's done. What colors?
I put it off because I thought this is going to be really tedious, very hard. It's going to take me forever. But when I used the glue stick, it was like 5 minutes to glue all the pieces down, and then it just had to put them together. So it was really, with the templates and the paper pieces and the glue stick, it was like, this is nothing.
So we're big fans. So when we're looking for guests, we want to interest you and get you excited like we were. I mean, we had Joyce, we had Cheryl. I didn't do Joyce's stuff yet, but I've done Cheryl's stuff. And I've been on cruises with Stevie, and she plays a mean game of Cards Against Humanity. So, yeah. So, Kim, before you get going, all right, what's in your glass?
Okay, I think I'm gonna get booed or donged. This is Gatorade Zero. 0 calories, tastes really good, and it's refreshing. And it's neon.
Think, people, thumbs up or thumbs down?
Oh, no. Oh, whatever, I'm out of here.
So, let me spotlight you. Why is it saying cancel? Okay, there you are. You got some beautiful quilts behind you.
Mm-hmm.
So,
that's my Brimfield block, the one Nisha and I made. That's the block that got us started.
oh, you got your other half on there already. Kim's other half. Happy to be able to dial in. We're happy you're here too.
That's Nisha.
Nisha.
Hey, everyone.
And yeah. Tell us how you guys got started.
Okay, you ready for the quick?
Yeah.
So there's this famous antique show in Massachusetts called the Brimfield Antique Show. And I used to live up there because I used to do the weather on television in Boston. So I knew about it and I used to go, and I really missed it because I'd been living down in DC for a while. And Nisha and I are both in the DC Modern Quilt Guild. And I told her that I'd be going up to Brimfield finally. Hadn't been in years. And she's like, oh, I want to go too. And at the time, you know, we were just quilting buddies. We both did Lucy Boston English paper piecing, which is kind of a famous old block that a lot of people that start EPP start off with Lucy Boston. And so I was going up there to look for vintage fabric. Nisha was looking for old stuff. And on the last day we were there, it had been raining. And if you're not familiar with Brimfield, it's fields. People bring like estate set, like somebody dies, they clear out the house and they throw the contents out on the fields. Okay. So we came across this field and we discovered that vintage fabric has a smell. And we followed our nose to this lady that had like a picnic blanket on the ground and seriously black hefty trash bags. And we were like, can we go through your bags? And she's like, yeah. So we were going in and pulling out awesome old fabric and like these quilt blocks we had never seen before. So Nisha's pulling out this beautiful block. I'm on my phone instantly sharing pictures with my friends. What is this? Is this, you know, Caesar's crown? We don't know what this is. Help us identify these blocks. We purchased them for like $1 and we were so obsessed with them. The blocks were the type of blocks that you would find in the the Kansas City Star newspaper, you know, that old timey, when they used to put in the newspaper articles every week, they would have a quilt pattern for free. So it looked like it was one of those types of blocks where the person had cut out, you know, a cardboard template and then hand pieced it together. And Nish and I, being EPP girls, were like, we need to redesign this block for English paper piecing and let's start a business. So at the diner in Vernon, Connecticut, on the placemat, we hatched a business plan. And after we got back, we made a prototype and we got in touch with Paper Pieces, who is our manufacturer, and we pitched our block to them and they loved it. And we launched that fall. So we were in Brimfield in May, and by October for Quilt Market 2017, we launched there with the Brimfield block, and we haven't looked back. Say that again?
we've been buying your stuff ever since.
Thank you.
Every
Thank
year.
Keeping us afloat. We appreciate it.
What do you got that I won't do? But I like it. I look at it. I touch it.
You know, I have to say, like, so this is an example of our template. This is a window acrylic template. And what's nice is this makes doing English paper piecing so easy because you can trace in here and make your own papers, okay? You can buy the papers, but if you want to make your own, you can. And then when you trace the outside, this is your fabric plus seam allowance. So this helps you to audition for fussy cutting fabric before you cut into it. And it just makes everything easy. And then
do you have different seam allowance on your templates?
We have two options. We have 3/8. Most EPP people like 3/8, unless it's a small block, then we have a 1/4 inch. And you can choose which one you like. So on the bigger blocks like this, here's the paper template. This would be a 3/8 inch seam allowance. So this I use to trace this. And then we were talking about this in the pre-chat before we went live. You trace your fabric, and the way we like to hold the fabric to the papers is with a Soline glue pen. It's this very special pen. It's like using a pen. Oh, I don't have a glue stick in there at the moment, but you just put a smear of glue on your paper and fold the fabric over, and it just temporarily holds it there. It doesn't hurt your fabric. You can peel this up, take the papers out, and reuse the paper. So English paper piecing is just a way to hold complicated looking shapes together while you sew them together. You can see I was sewing this one by hand. It's something you can do on the couch and watch Netflix, which is what I like to do. I don't always like to be tied to my machine. And because I'm a mom with a kid who plays Little League and a daughter that likes to ice skate, I'm usually at a Little League thing or a rink, and I like to keep my hands busy. So that's why I do English paper piecing.
Do you use a like a stand or something to lean on when you're traveling? What do they call those?
I've seen them. Anisha, did we ever? We never bought that. Didn't we see one of those fancy stands?
There was. I think it's like the lap desk or something.
Lap app?
There's like
Lap app or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, that we. Thanks for reminding us that we want to buy those.
Well, I think we opted for the Five Below lap desk with the cup holders instead that were like $5. I think that's what we ended up getting.
Those are good for like tracing the fabric and cutting them out. But I think the other one has like a pin cushion and some other stuff like built into it, which are. And
it has like a grippier surface so your stuff won't slide. I think that was kind of a nice thing. We don't have them, but when we've taught, people bring them to our classes and we go, oh, and we learn the best tips and tricks. And
now I've remembered that we want to buy that, so I'll go find it.
Cool.
Do you want to see a couple what the blocks look like?
Let's see.
Okay, so the first one is the Brimfield block. That's this quilt here with a light blue background. And here's one block. This still has the papers in it. You can see on the back. And real quick tangent. What's cool about the papers is, can you see that there's perforation there? I don't know how good the resolution is on the video chat, but what's neat is our papers are unique. We give the quilter the ability to make as many pieces as they want. So if you want to wrap fabric around this tall house piece, you can. But let's say you want the tip of the house to be different from the base. You would just fold it along the perforation, and now you have two pieces. So you can fussy cut two different fabrics if you want. You go, oops, I made a mistake. I didn't want to do that. You just Scotch tape it back together and keep it one piece. So what's neat is your blocks can kind of take on your own design. You can keep the houses all together, like this whole house piece is not separated with the roofs, or you can break them down into sub pieces, which is kind of neat if you want to go off on your own tangent. So this one's the Brimfield block. And then another block we have is called Brimfield Meadows. What's that?
The one that started it all.
Yes,
the one that started it all.
Yep. This one is Brimfield Meadows, also another block we pulled out of the Hefty Trash Bag, Nisha and I, that inspired this. And we named it after the field in which we found it, which was the Meadows. So it's hard to see, but there's all the papers on this, okay? And they're perforated too. Now, I'm gonna show you another block that is this pattern, but it looks different. And you tell me what's different about it. See the negative space right here? The tulip piece that's empty? So you can take pieces from our blocks and leave them out altogether to the negative space, and that's really fun. So you can have the solid version, or you can have the version that has pieces missing from it. And it's just kind of a neat way. This block here that I'm holding, these two, is this quilt right here behind me. You can see the design it has. And then one more block is the Blooming Star. And this also has some negative space right here, if you can see that. And this quilt is the one that's over there with the peach background. So those are just some of them. And you know, they have perforation. So if you want to rip them apart and make it more pieces, you can, or you don't have to do that. It's really up to you. We're usually, Nisha and I are usually on some sort of quilt market deadline. Quick, we got to get this sewn and FedEx to Free Spirit, that we often don't break our pieces down as much as we'd like, just because we're in a rush. So if you're in a rush, you can do them fast.
Those are hand appliqued onto a background piece once you EPP the blocks.
Yes, exactly. So we actually usually machine applique it. All of these quilts behind us, machine appliqued. We use Wonderfill Specialty Thread has an Invisafill. It's 100 weight. It is a polyester, but it's a cottonized polyester. And it is, because it's a polyester core, it's so strong. But because it's 100 weight, it's super fine. So it just like kind of melts into your fabric. And they have a special like family secret for what they do to the thread to make it behave like cotton. It used to be people were scared of polyester thread, shrinking, stretching. Their thread doesn't do that. So you have the awesome strength of it, and you have the fineness of it. So we love using the Wonderfill Deco Bob, which is 80 weight for doing the English paper piecing, and the Invisafill, which is 100 weight for doing the applique onto the background. And we just do it by machine. Now, I often will do it on the couch if I don't have a crazy deadline and hand applique, because I enjoy that, but most of our quilts are all machine appliqued down.
Questions to the chat. And we're gonna start watching them, watching the chat. Now, the you mentioned before, you said something about Liberty. You like the Liberty of London fabrics?
We do. We use the Liberty Tana Lawn, which people think, oh, it's so fine. Ooh, I'm scared. It's actually an incredibly durable fabric. What we've learned over the years is that the Tana Lawn fabric is actually made for garment sewing. So when you look at quilting fabric across the spectrum, most of it's printed over in, you know, Japan, right? But the garment fabrics of the world are actually printed in Italy. And the Tana Lawn is such a tight, fine weave that you can, your very tiny like ditzy prints don't look muddled on it. It's really beautiful. So you don't have to worry about it ripping on you, because it's meant, you see like companies make shirts out of them. It goes in the wash. So it can definitely withstand your quilt.
Paper piece, like the curves and everything.
I missed the first part of that. What was
that?
that?
How hard is it to English paper piece?
It's easy. And I'm not saying that because I want you to buy our stuff. I mean, seriously, it's not hard. If you know how to do a whip stitch, so you take your two pieces, right? You fold it, and then you put your needle in and you whip it around, right? That's the whip stitch. That's easy. We have a whole bunch of starter patterns called Brimfield Beginnings, which require only like straight line sewing. Those look like curves, but that's just the applique part. And what you say to me, well, what if I want to sew a curve? Well, that's really not hard to do. So here's a curve I was starting to do here. And there's this great stitch called the flat back stitch that we teach and we use, where instead of putting right sides together, if you've ever sewn curves and you put right sides together, look at this. Does this look like a headache? It does. I don't want to sew that. I don't want to ever whip stitch that. I hate it. So what we teach is flat back stitch that. So you butt the two pieces together and use a little piece of tape right here. If you have blue painter's tape, it works great. We use something called embroidery perfection tape, which I have somewhere. It looks like this. And it's a super sticky blue painter's tape. And what we teach is you tape the piece in the front right here, and then on the back, you sew in across your seam allowance from side to side. As long as you don't bend your pieces, make them right sides together, you're kind of skimming across the paper. And that's the flat back stitch. And if you go on Instagram, I have a tutorial on there on how to do it. It's a game changer for sewing curves. And once you learn that, you can sew any English paper piecing design. It's not to be feared. It's your best friend, so that when you're sitting in line somewhere, you have something to do, which is why I love it.
Kate would like to know, how do you spell that fabric?
The Liberty Tana Lawn. It's Liberty, like Liberty of London, and Tana is T-A-N-A, and Lawn, L-A-W-N. And you can find, we have small batches of it for sale on our website at brimfieldawakening.com. We sell only small little quantities because we are EPPers and we don't need a lot. And you can also order it from The Strawberry Thief. And the only thing you have to know about her is when you Google her, it's like .au because she's in Australia. But she ships worldwide via DHL, and she's got a wonderful Love Liberty Club, which you can sign up for, and you can get your fabric once a month, like a variety, which is really nice to build your stash if you want to try that.
Okay, everybody seems to like that. Next question. So what else are you doing? I know you have a lot of cult followings, and you search Brimfield block on Pinterest, and there all kinds of things show up.
I know, there's some really cool, all right, so people like slap our blocks on stuff. Like we have a friend named Linda. Her Instagram is Missy from Minnesota, but her name is Linda. And she put this baby Brimfield on this bag with the cork bottom. Isn't that cute?
Oh.
And it's like, this is our original block, but 50% the size. It's called Baby. And we even have a smaller version called Biddy, which I'm not going to show you because it makes Nisha nervous because the pieces are, you have to hold them with tweezers and you have to get out your microscope. And the joke with Biddy Brimfield is I lost my Biddy Brimfield pieces in the cracks between my molecules. Here's another application. This is our Mayflower block. It looks like that. So you can put these on everything. One of our latest blocks we made was inspired by a vintage quilt we saw, and it has little Scotty dogs on it. So this is our Scotty block. This is pretty easy. And they have little sweaters, and you can change them out in the little bones. So when we learned about the Scotty block and their popularity in the 1940s, we learned that FDR had a Scottish Terrier, and his name was Falala or something. And these quilts started to become popular back then. So that's our Scotty block. And I would just say the stuff we're most excited about is our Brimfield Beginnings, which is for people that want to try English paper piecing, don't really want to do hexagons and grandmother's flower gardens because it's a great design, but they want something different. So Nisha and I just designed a starter series of patterns called Brimfield Beginnings. And all of the blocks on this quilt require only straight line sewing, so you don't have to worry about the flat back stitch that I was talking about. And there are 3 different designs. And what's nice is each of the designs comes in their own little starter pack. And the starter packs include a window acrylic, papers to make 4 blocks, and an instruction card. And we wanted them to be priced affordably so that you don't have to like break the bank starting a hobby you might not like. So if you want to try English paper piecing, here's like our mirror block one. This is what the packaging looks like. everything's in here, and this is like $13. The Mayflower block's like $12. So it's just a great way to try and not be like, oh my gosh, I spent all this money on all of this EPP stuff and I'm never going to do it again. So we want to get people to try it. We want this to be the gateway drug to English paper piecing because they're really fun and it's really easy to do. And then here's that quilt.
That quilt is what made me buy the whole package. That's what did it. I got that picture on my phone.
You do?
Yeah.
You know you're special when you live in someone's phone. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. Siobhan would like to know, what needles do you use?
Oh, we use the Milliner's Needle size 10. And Miss Nisha has the rapport and always buys them for our website. So I'll let her tell you more about them because she kind of knows. There's like a gold tip one. And I just know I'm always like, Nisha, can you send me more needles? I ran out because I break my needles a lot.
We use Colonial needles. They're Milliner's size 10. They're pretty inexpensive. And I think it's like $3 or $5 for a pack of 10 needles or so. And yeah, we really like them. We used to like Tulip, but those are very pricey.
Here's what they look like.
They break just as frequently as the Milliner's, as these ones do. So that's all.
Do you use a thread lubricant?
No, because the Deco Bob that we use is so fine. Now these needles have a really small hole, but the thread we use is so fine, it goes in easily. And the trick we learned, now when we teach, we always ask everybody, share us your best trick, and then we accumulate them. And the best tip we ever were told, and it works every time, and I'm always demoing in Demo Alley, and I'm waiting for the day where it doesn't work and everyone goes, you lied. You lick the needle's eye, not the thread. And what happens is when you lick the eye and your thread is dry, seems counterintuitive, but trust me, it works. The moisture around the eye wicks your thread right through. So next time you're threading a needle, I don't want you, if the thread is wet because you licked it by accident, cut it off, lick the needle, and then try it again and tell me if it doesn't work. So that's our trick. And we don't find we need any kind of lubricant because it's polyester, so it's not going to break. I'm not going to name names, but we've had problems sometimes sewing with all cotton thread on EPP breaking. And the reason why that happens is because, remember, you're not sewing into your papers, you're sewing next to them. And when your thread drags across the edge of your papers, it's going to give it a workout. So that's why English paper piecing people like Nisha and I like to use the polyester-based thread.
What's in the future for Brimfield? Any more variations?
I think I've been talking about this with Nisha, and she can agree or not. I think we want to launch another series of our beginnings, the Brimfield Beginnings, like series 2. That would be something we'd like to do. To get 3 more designs out. We do have another pattern coming out, I would say maybe by the fall. It is called Super Size Me EPP. It is like a giant star dahlia. It's a huge block, and it's the one where the petals poof out and you stuff extra batting in them. It's really fascinating. We have some pictures on our Instagram, and we launched an exclusive pattern with AQS magazine, and they have the rights to it until the fall, and that will be coming back into our possession to be able to sell publicly, and that's called the Bread Bowl block. So look for that to be coming in the fall as well.
Now, do you guys do virtual workshops or anything yet?
Not yet. We have to very soon start recording our videos for QuiltCon in 2021. It's virtual this coming year, and we are teaching 2 classes for that. So that's pretty much where all our energy is going to next in terms of virtual.
So it must work pretty good that you're, you know, you've been on TV and stuff.
You know, I can wing stuff in front of a camera. I am thankful that Nisha is super smart and can carry my talking headness, because I'm not shy and I can blah, 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 but I'm just glad I have Nisha by my side to help me do the heavy lifting of everything, because there's you know, planning all the videos that we have to do. Like we just got an email from, did you see it, Nisha? We just got an email from them today saying, time for all your outlines. And I went, oh my God. And what you don't know is that Nisha will never say this. She's getting her master's from Harvard right now. So she churns out papers and things that I could never pretend to understand, like, and gets A's. So like, that's my partner. That's my partner.
Cool. All right. Anybody before we sign off with Kim? Want to fire any questions at her, Deb?
Do you always teach together? Do you always teach together?
Most of the time, yes. But there have been, sometimes we just have lectures and not teaching. And if one is like closer to Nisha or closer to me, we'll just do that separately. And there's been a few times where we've taught on our own individually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I should let you know the door prize I have to give away. Because I didn't let you know this before. I'm winging it. Whoever wins the door prize can pick any one of our patterns. They'll get that, and they'll get a block to go with it to practice your English papers piecing.
Wow.
Okay.
And anybody come back and show us what you did?
Yeah. Show and share.
Speaking of showing, where's the best place where people can see? I know you have like galleries of things that people have made from your blocks. Is Instagram the best? Is Facebook the best? What's the best?
Okay, so 2 places. Definitely Instagram. And if you know how to use a hashtag and what that means, you would just do hashtag Brimfield Awakening and you can see a whole screen. I think there's like, I think for Brimfield Block or Brimfield Awakening, one of those, I think there's almost 4,000 pictures. Another place we encourage you to join if you want, if you're gonna make any of our patterns, we have a private Facebook group. So some wackadoodle from Russia trolling you is not going to get in there. And it's a private group. You have to answer some questions to get in. That's just to make sure you're not a bot. And you can come in and we will, you can share any of your Brimfield stuff there. And more importantly, if you've got questions, Nisha and I hop in there all the time and answer them. If you need, you know, if you want an opinion, trust me, people will give you their opinion on what packing you should use. So it's called The Brimfield Bee, and B is spelled B-E-E. And that is the private Facebook group that you can join. And that's another great place to see what people are making.
You guys are really out there supporting your customers, and they can you know, reach out and touch you, and you know, they feel part of your family.
Yes, in fact, some people, like, we don't have all of our Liberty fabric listed just because it's hard. But when people found out we carry it, they're like, well, how can I buy it? And I'm just like, what's your phone number? I'll FaceTime you. Come down in my basement. I'll just show you what we have. And then they buy it that way. So we're pretty accessible. You'll see, you know, the hamster living behind these quilts. That's why these quilts are hanging up, because there's a hamster cage on the other side. But you'll see it all.
So if people want to buy your patterns, your website is brimfieldawakening.com.
Exactly. Yep. We even have like a YouTube channel with a few tutorials. I've been neglecting that recently, but we do have a few things on there that might be helpful. But honestly, if you just hop into or send us an email or hop into our Facebook group, we're on.
I want to see the hamster.
Nisha will freak out. I could show her too. Her name is Cookie Dough. She's really cute.
You can bring her out.
Okay, I'll show you real fast.
Without advance warning.
So if I can do this, and I actually enjoyed it. I don't want to admit that too much, because then I'll have to do my own bindings.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed it.
Here she is. She just woke up. You know, it's her nighttime.
I gotta spotlight you again.
Okay, she'll fall asleep. She'll fall asleep in my hands if I just pet her. She's like, what are you doing to me? It's the middle of my night. She's gotten out a few times, but we figure, she escapes, and we found out where she goes when she escapes. She's ripped up the carpet in our basement in the corner, and there's a whole mountain of food that she brings there. So when she escaped recently, we're like, go check the corner of the basement, and she was sleeping there. So anyhow, this is Cookie Dough, and she's our hiding behind the quilts. And is it Deb? Your cat Cassidy would probably have her first.
Oh, yes.
So we best not let her see.
So, all right. Kim, Nisha, thank you girls very much. I'm going to be watching. Deb's going to be watching to see what you got next.
That's
that
right.
I can add to my collection. Maybe I'll do it. So I'm inspired. And thank you so much for being on So What?
Thank you for having us. You guys are a fun group. It's been a pleasure.
If you people were drinking something that wasn't water. So where's Deb? Find Deb.
Right here.
Deb, you got anything today?
Oh, well, I was going to show my Brimfield, just to show you what came with my kit. This is a set of what you get with your kit, which is paper pieces, and they're all the different shapes. And then you get a little thing that describes how to make it, how to English paper piece. And these are my templates, which I guess are early ones, so they're a little different than the ones that she showed, but they have one for each of the pieces in the original Brimfield block. And this is the Sew Line pen that she was talking about, which is just basically a pen with a glue stick refills that you put in it, and you can just smear it on, stick it down. It takes you 2 minutes. Last week I gave the demo of the hex, how to do the hexes, and it's the same. It's the same because the Brimfield, the basic Brimfield block, the curves are very gentle, so you can just glue it down, no problem. Over to you, Linda. Is that what they say in the broadcasting field? Over to you, Linda.
Yep.
All right, we got a question here. We're going back to Kim.
Okay.
Besides Liberty fabric, can you use any quilting fabric for your EPP?
Yes, you can. So we use the regular quilting weight cotton. And one of the other types of fabrics Nish and I love, and the whole reason why we go to Brimfield, is stinky old feed sacks. You know what feed sacks are? Back in the day, they would sell the flour and whatever from the dry goods store, and it came in bags. And during the Depression, what is it? Use it up, wear it out, make it out. People, they were discovering that the farmers' wives were telling the husbands to get the prettier feed sacks. So they started designing the feed sacks to have really beautiful prints. And nowadays they're highly collectible and desirable. So Nish and I go there and try to sniff out feed sacks, and we use the old fabrics that all have a nice smell to them.
All right, then back to me. All right, believe it or not, I get fan mail from here, from Frog Hollow. I do get fan mail. And I've been getting a lot of questions about people want to move into the quilt industry and make their hobby profitable. So I think what I'll do is I'll start answering some of the questions. I know who asked them, but a lot of people might not know just what goes into this. So, like, you really don't want to quit your day job, especially not now. But one of the things, I've had a lot of questions especially because of our sponsor with Quilt Woman. Now, Quilt Woman is a pattern publisher. If you've heard of Pattern Peddlers, they were a distributor for patterns. So all the designers would send their patterns, and they would go to the trade shows, and they would sell the patterns and show samples of the quilt. The when you want to write a pattern, it's probably the best way is to hook up with a distributor. Because if you have to do it yourself, I mean, sometimes the quilt world distributors, they require, like, if they're going to purchase it, they just don't want one shot deal. Like, oh, I have this one pattern. They probably are not going to take it. They want a nice series and at least a couple of patterns. Do need to have it tested. I mean, Debbie and I are each other's eyes. We'll check for typos. For some reason, Debbie feels the need to correct my grammar.
No particular reason.
And you need to really think when you're writing that not everybody understands what you're talking about. So if you say connector squares, you need to explain that because people in different parts of the country call them different things. Flippy things, snowball corners, connector squares. You need to cover that and let them know that you're going to refer to this technique as that. And I found when I'm all over the country, if you say it, you know, I use the word connector squares because that's how I learned. And people don't get it, but as soon as you start talking, you're like, flippy things, dog ear corner, connector squares, snowball corner. And they'll all jump when you say the name that they're familiar with. So you need to adapt your presentation to what they are familiar with. Your fabrics need to be correct with your yardage, because I'll tell you what, they're going to come back to you and they're going to tell you that you were not right. So you have to think both ways how they're going to cut something. Because if you tell them 2.5 by 4.5, if they cut a 4.5-inch strip, you can get 16 2.5-inch pieces from there. But if you cut a 2.5-inch strip, you're not going to get 16 4.5. So you need to think stupid. Sorry, Deb. Is that inappropriate? Probably. You need to think stupid and just really, really go over it. Have another set of eyes. Have somebody test it, and don't assume that everybody knows what you're talking about. Okay, does anybody have any questions on that? Because I will answer questions. That's just one of the several that I've gotten about writing patterns.
I see that Nisha left a comment on the chat if you want to let people know about that.
Oh, Liberty Fabric. Nisha said, we sell some through our D-Stash account on Instagram. You can't even work Instagram. What is that? You got to get Instagram for dummies.
If you can do Zoom, you can totally do Instagram. I had to just...
The Pete's asked me, they're like, you do Instagram, what's your handle? I'm like, what is that?
It's your username, that's all. But it starts with an @ sign.
But you can send us a message, and we'll send photos of what we currently have. We have a shipment coming soon, so we'll have some fun new prints. So you just want to stay on top of those girls. That's really inappropriate. Stay aware of what those girls are doing.
Oh, Linda.
I'm from Jersey. I'm from Jersey. Does anybody have any questions for us? Watching the chat. I know you're all just sitting here waiting for the door prizes. Really?
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 Okay.
Really? All right. This is also you people. Thank you, Stevie. iPad 541, Sharon, Luke's iPad, Kat. Unless we see you, we're not going to pick you for a door prize. Turn your cameras on. We don't care if you're in.
I didn't realize that was the rule. So we're going to start seeing more faces populate this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This channel is also my channel for my Zumba classes. Mary, come back here. You ran away. Mary Kerr. This is also my Zumba channel, and they put it out on our Zumba teacher network that we have to be really careful to about letting people into the room, because there's apparently some guy that joins the Zumba classes. He likes the gold classes for the older folk, and in the middle of the class he strips.
Oh.
So I was like, give him my number. My girls would love it. Question from Suzanne. Why is the pattern the same as a PDF as printed and mailed? You're talking about the price, Suzanne? Everybody has different pricing for a PDF pattern and a mailed pattern. We personally, Debbie and I, we price our patterns $3 or $4 less than the printed pattern. But not everybody does that. Everybody has different pricing, and it's just all what they want to make with their pricing.
I think also another reason why sometimes people keep the same price for a PDF as their paper version is because local quilt shops that sell your patterns don't sell the PDF version, and then it's kind of like undercutting them sometimes if your stuff is in a lot of quilt shops around the country. And for us, my view would be, the same amount of work went into writing that god-awful pattern, because that's how I always feel by the time I'm done with one. I'm like, oh, I never want to do this again. So it's really the time, not so much the printing, and the shipping is usually just extra. My 2 cents.
No, that's everybody prices their stuff different. Everybody prices their stuff different.
That's exactly what I wanted to know. Thank you. I've been wondering that for a while.
Yeah, and we put our stuff is distributed through Quilt Woman. So pretty much what we do is we do our PDF or version. We send it to Quilt Woman, and she handles the marketing. She gets it in with the distributors and all that other stuff. So she handles that for you. What we put in our pocket is a little less because she has to get her cut, which is fine. And she does do a lot of work for us. Now, next week we have Patty Carey, who could not be here today, and she is from Canada, and I know things about her because I've been out with her, and I have pictures. I'm sure she's not going to like that, but I have pictures of being out with her, and I know things about her. She's going to talk to us about using panels in your quilts, not the quilting part of it, but she's going to talk about the piecing part of it. So I'm thinking if you combine Joyce's stuff with Patty's stuff, you could really get a nice quilt. Because Joyce has the thread painting on the panels, so you could really move forward with your quilting. And we've also been working on our lineups for the rest of the month. We have Nancy Dill's going to come on. She's going to talk to us about stuff. Converting patterns and stuff to
Other crafts.
other
Other
crafts.
crafts.
We got New Jersey bad boy Mark Lipinski's coming on. So that should be interesting. Mary Kurz is here, was here. She ducked off. Mary Kerr is going to talk to us about quilt appraisal. She is very knowledgeable, very knowledgeable. Mary actually does my quilt appraisals. She's going to talk to us about that. And we have Pepper Corey coming in August. So if there's somebody you would like to see, please let us know. And we can reach out to them. And we want to have a nice selection of people for you in different areas of quilting. So I'm thinking, what do you think, Deb? I like my ding dongs. It's
Door prize time.
Okay. You got everybody up on the gallery. All right. You got that, Kim? Deb, you got that?
Yep, I got gallery, yep.
All right. Does everybody have a glass? Cheryl Lynch, you turned off your camera.
A lot of people just turned off their camera. They don't want the prize. What is this? What is this
I
about?
guess not.
Cheryl
We're
Lynch.
pretty,
I did turn off my camera.
I
I want the prize, but I don't have a camera.
saw that. Okay, you want me to go first?
yeah.
Okay. Okay, Sharon's back on. I'm giving you one last chance. Turn on your cameras if you want a door prize because we want to see what's in your glass. So everybody can vote. Okay. Whoa. Who's that? Suzanne, man. You are, I mean, spotlight you.
She's a big winner.
Yeah. You got my prize today. What's in your glass?
Well, it's almost gone, so I'm ready for a new one, but the next one will have alcohol in it. Probably you know, little.
No, not
cranberry.
probably, not probably. What's in there right now? What are you drinking?
Oh, it was. I'm kind of working too, so this is just the last of my iced tea. So
I know. What do you think, people? What do you think, people?
I'm gonna have cranberry and vodka after this.
No, what do you think, Sharon? What do you think? Hey,
I think good intentions count.
no, there needs to be liquor in there. Deb, make
Okay.
sure.
Okay, Suzanne, I still have your email from last time, I think.
Okay.
Okay, it's Sue's Quilter, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yep, got it. Okay, my turn?
Yeah.
I got it. Okay.
Turn around.
Okay, I'm turning. Kate Fraker.
Kate, that doesn't look good there. What is in that glass?
I gotta unmute her.
Wait, unmute. Wait. I got it. Your mouth's going, but I can't unmute you quick enough. Unmute yourself.
Okay,
What's in that glass?
very strong coffee with Kahlua.
Kahlua. So you got something in there.
Okay, that counts.
It's early, you gotta have coffee out here, you know.
Is that a ding dong or
Okay, there you go.
okay.
That's a yes.
Good job, Kate. Kate was in
Thank you,
duty
guys.
this morning.
Oh, well, I needed a bracer after this morning.
Okay.
And if your arms hurt tomorrow,
Okay.
you are welcome.
Okay, can you put your email on the chat so I can add it?
I'll do it.
Okay, good. Okay. Kim. and pick
Okay,
one.
I gotta turn around. I still have a
Turn
hamster.
around.
Okay,
Still have a hamster?
I do. She's getting crazy.
All right, put the
Let
hamster
her
on the
pick.
computer screen. Let the hamster pick.
She's like running. Okay, ready? Oh, Sharon Aurora. Cookie dough picked
Okay.
you.
Cookie dough. Sharon, what's in your glass? You froze. Whoops. Shit. Deb, can you get her? I froze.
It's frozen.
That looks like a coffee cup. Can you unmute her? Hang on, we gotta unmute you.
She's unmuted. She's not, she's,
That looks like a coffee cup, Sharon. Shake your head because you're a little frozen. Is there liquor in there? She's frozen. All right, what do you think, people?
look good.
Okay.
It's tea, she says.
Hey, all right, make sure we
Hey.
have your email.
Okay, Sharon, put your email in so I can send you,
Stevie.
so Kim can send you your prize.
Stevie, would you do the honors for Nancy Dill, please? You gotta unmute you. I'm shaking. Got an earthquake going on? Trying to unmute you. See your mouth going. Yeah, what's going on?
I don't know, I can't unmute her.
You're gonna have to unmute yourself. She don't know how to do it. All right, hang on. Let me try doing it this way.
I don't know, it's not working.
I think if you push your space bar, there she
Okay,
is.
there you go. There you go.
All right, Stevie, you're picking for Quilt Woman.
Well, I can't scroll beyond the original screen, which is the people have already won. So I'm not a good one to ask that.
Okay, Joyce, do it. Can you do it?
Okay, I can, okay. Galaxy Tab A8.
You gotta, can we see that?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
me,
Who's that?
Linda.
Oh, okay. All right, let me spotlight you. What's in that glass?
Deep Eddy grapefruit vodka and tonic.
Ooh.
I'm not even asking you people. That's a ding dong.
Yeah, I can pick a good one.
That's a ding dong.
Okay,
Okay, so
okay. Linda, can you put your email on the chat so I can make sure you get your prize from Quilt Woman? A fat quarter bundle or a choice of a downloadable pattern?
A pattern, please.
Pattern, okay, I'll tell you want the pattern, okay.
okay. So next week is Patty Carey. You can join us for Zumba at 9:30 on Monday and Wednesday mornings. Everybody's welcome. You can share it with your friends. And they tell me I'm easy to follow. I am doing virtual classes now. If you see my commercial and you've met my husband, you know that he was part of that commercial. I think the class is full for feeling crabby, but the next round of classes will be, I'm probably going to go for the frog pond, because everybody likes that one. I will be teaching at Mancuso Quote Festival. That's in August. And so will Joyce and Cheryl, who ran away. We'll forgive her. Cheryl signed off. Joyce is on there doing her thread painting that she was on a couple of weeks ago. Cheryl's on there. I guess she's doing mini mosaics, Joyce.
Yes.
Doing mini mosaics. So you can find us to get the virtual classes, and we can thank you for the support. I got specials on my website. My husband is taking it upon himself to tell me that I have no clue what I'm doing, which I don't. And he has put all kinds of stuff on my website, like thread and books and stuff on sale. So you can look on there, and or I make him change it so that we're not just giving away the bank. Oh, Deb has a, Deb, what do you got there? You're doing a free class.
Yes, this, it's next Tuesday, right? Next Tuesday. Doing the little Velcro bag that I demonstrated, that I showed a couple of weeks ago. Just a little Velcro, just a little bag, very quick. And anybody who wants to do it, it'll be a free Zoom class. This is just one, a plain one. Plain one. All chooses what kind of fabric you choose. This is from my daughter's shower curtain. You can, once you get used to it, the simplicity of making these, but then you can kind of go crazy. So this one's got beads on it. This is my previous cat, Frodo, and it's thread paint. It's thread painted on top of a picture. This one is
vicious.
Linda's dog. That's Linda's dog, her former dog.
Former dog.
And
that dog was vicious.
It's also thread painted. Or you can do crazy quilting and beading and whatever takes your fancy. But they're very, very simple. And if you want to do it, then you only need a few supplies to sew along with me. And the supplies that you need, if you're interested, email Linda and she'll remind you. But it's 7x9 pieces of fabric for the outside, 2 7x9 pieces of fabric for the inside, 2 7x9 pieces of cotton batting, any kind, whatever you have left over, and 1 piece of Velcro, like 3/4 to 1 inch wide and about 7 inches long. That's all you need to make the bag. And of course you need your sewing machine. But apart from that, you don't need anything else. And once you learn the technique, you're going to want to make a million of them because they're really a lot of fun. You can vary the size to however you want. And I will have a PDF that just kind of explains the steps afterwards for anybody who wants it. So email Linda if you're interested and she'll add you onto the list so we know how many people to expect.
And it's
a lot.
This channel and this password. So this is a multi-use channel.
That's right.
So our Brimfield girls, thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Make sure we know what you're doing.
We will. We'll be looking for you. We hope you'll find us in our Facebook group and be sure to tag us with any of your makes. And I'll be sure to get out the door prize in the mail this week.
And I will put the information up on our So What Zoomcast.
Super. Thanks.
On our Facebook page. Thanks, Kim.
Okay.
Pleasure.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye, Stevie. Bye, Linda. We'll see you Monday. Bye, Kate. We'll see you Monday. Joyce.
Bye.
We'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
9 o'clock. Coffee. Deb, 9 o'clock with coffee tomorrow. Deb.
Yes, 9 o'clock tomorrow.
Okay. Barbara, yes, I'm going to
Yes, 9 o'clock tomorrow.
And I'll send Cheryl a text, make sure she knows.
Yeah.
I'll see you Monday.
Okay.
Barbara, yes, I have it on my list to do. I will do that once I can get that camera working. I got a new coil thingy that I think will make it work. Sharon, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Go. Stevie, why can't we unmute you? What is... Deb, can you try? Wait.
Okay, I'm unmuted now. Okay, you want to know what the techno peasant problem with my laptop is?
Yes.
It's not an iPad. It's not a touch screen. Okay, I'm getting older as this goes on. So.
I was gonna try to get Matt on here, but I figure it's probably not a good time.
It would be a good, maybe in 2 weeks it would be an excellent time, because I think we'll have some things kind of settled, and I think you'll have some interesting things to say. So, and I talked to Pat Yelman, and because she asked me about Zoom last night, so she couldn't get on because she doesn't have Wi-Fi at home. And the library had blocked Zoom. So, but she's going home tomorrow, so tomorrow she'll be home by next week.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Pat's in Florida, right?
Right. She's leaving tomorrow afternoon, so she'll be back in New York.
Will she have to quarantine?
Yes. Yeah.
She
doesn't care. She don't want to go anyplace. or as we said, she didn't want to put her bra on.
What they even are.
Yeah. Okay. Bye-bye, you guys.
Bye. Say hi to Randy.
Bye.
Okay.
Thanks.
I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, ladies. Have a good night.
Tomorrow.
Bye. See you tomorrow, Joyce.
Taking everybody out. Just me and you, Deb.
Okay. So, I think it went pretty well. It went pretty well.
Mary Kerr, her iPad ran out of juice.
Okay.
Amy was on another call. So I'm just looking to see.
Well, looks like I think everybody had a good time. Do you have, what I realize now is, do you have Kim's? I'll just send it to you and you can forward it. The list.
No, I don't have it at the moment.
Okay. Probably
So,
like Kim.
You got to request
Kim had,
to demonstrate what's my angle. I got to do that.
yeah.
Somebody said Sharon, no. Said, I don't, Kat, whoever that was, said, I don't have a camera, no fair.
Oh.
Sucks to be her.
Okay.
So tomorrow I'm going to clean up my studio. And I got to get all the kits done for him to ship out.
Mm-hmm.
My cousin Diane keeps saying she wants to buy the class for Carol and have Carol come in.
What class?
Feeling crabby.
Okay. Do you think she can do it?
No.
Mm.
No. And I told Diane, I think it's a little bit beyond her, just because I got 3 hours, and seeing that I'm going to have trouble with the final trim. And how do I charge her? I mean,
Why don't you suggest a different class?
I did. And she can't even get on Zoom by herself. I mean, these ladies needed to be able to hold their block up so I could see if they had a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So, but she keeps pushing it. And Ellen's like, how can you charge her for the class? And I'm giving them an extra hour. Just so it's worth it to me, so that I can get the kinks out before I do it for Mancuso.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. I don't know. So, Carmen is just about ready with her quilt number 3.
Okay.
So that means we'll have 2 close to being done.
Okay.
I would really like to, if he's working this weekend, I would really like to get quilt number 3 done. That the front of that book is going to take a little bit. But I'm surprised they didn't get that many questions.
Well, we didn't have that many people on total. I don't know. I think we had 23 at one point.
Yeah.
But
I don't think Patty Carey's going to pull a lot of people. Or Nancy. Lipinski will get people.
yeah. Well, it probably wouldn't hurt to do another video for Facebook. Zoom with me.
Yeah. Oh, well. Well, it is 4:16. I'm done. I'm tired. Made dinner.
Finish off that barefoot and have your dinner.
Yeah,
but he's working late now.
Yeah, he's working till.
Is he working late now?
Yeah, he's getting home about 6:15. And we gotta watch 2 to 3 episodes of Dallas every night. He is so into it. I'm like, see, finally, after all these years, you're finally seeing what was the whole. He is so into it. I need a quilt behind me. Even he said it. But look at that pile. I had to empty out. I had all the Rock That Block quilts on top of the 2 suitcases, and I needed to empty the 2 suitcases to find the stuff. So, all right. So we'll see you tomorrow at 9?
9.
9 for our mastermind group.
All right.
All right. We'll see you mañana.
All right. Bye.